Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I am the producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me is our host, Logan Landers. How's it going, Logan?
Man, I'm doing great, Jeremiah. Beautiful Monday. Got the rain washed away. Hopefully we can get a sunny day today. How about yourself, bro?
Absolutely. The same exact feelings. It feels like all the rain coming down, washing all the old away, coming with the new, and just keeping on moving.
There we go.
Definitely some big things coming out. We know college football is trying to find its way. It will find its way. We all know that because sports must go on.
Yep.
This week, we are talking about Myles Brennan from LSU. He will be the starting quarterback, however it does work out. And we actually are pretty big fans of LSU here. We try to dive into their roster and figure out what's going on with them. We're particularly wondering about Myles Brennan because he has to step in some really big shoes this year. Well, I'm just going to let you take it from here, Logan. Why don't you tell us some more about Mr. Myles Brennan?
Let's do it, man. Pull up the slideshow, our specialty. Let's talk about Myles Brennan. So he's 6'4", 210 pounds. Like I say, he's going into his junior year. He had his redshirt years last season. And like we said, man, he's got some big shoes to fill. He sat back and watched Joe Burrow do his thing last year, and man, he's learned a lot. I'm sure after watching what Joe did this past season, just being in that quarterback room and seeing the great attitude they all had when they got that national championship. He learned a lot from Joe as well as everyone else on that team last year. But so far, he's primarily been a backup. He's appeared in 17 games so far at LSU, just mostly, for the most part, just, come in blowouts and just kind of being a cleanup role, I would say. But so far, he's looked pretty solid, I would say. And over on the next screen, we got a little more information about the young man. Like I said, redshirt is a true sophomore last year. He thought he was going to get a shot before Joe came into the picture. As we know, he transferred over from Ohio State. So Myles, I'm sure, was a little bit dejected at that, learning that, his potential starting job was taken over by, the number one overall pick. Of course, that's not too shabby, learning from him too, like I said. But yeah, so there's not that much footage on Myles Brennan as a starter per se. But like I said, whenever he was a backup or just gotten a few games this past couple of years, he's really solid, I think. But, a lot of people tend to forget that, coming out of high school, he was a top-ranked quarterback in 2017. And he holds, a lot of high school records in Mississippi, including his total offense at 16,168 yards, passing yards at 15,138, and he hits 166 passing touchdowns. But, man, that's just crazy when you think about it. So while the young man hasn't gotten in many games so far, he's finally waited his turn. He's seen championships. He's ready to take LSU Tigers, hopefully get them back to another championship. All the Tiger fans, they're just patiently waiting, hoping this young man can have a great season and that, overall that he can lead him to another championship.
Absolutely. Well, Myles Brennan is definitely, like we said, filling some huge shoes.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he is ready to take over the type of playmaking that LSU does? I mean, it's a fast pace. It's very strong. It's very strong football. Do you feel like he's ready to step on in? Do you think he's had enough experience playing to jump right in there? Or do you think there's going to be a learning curve?
Well, I think maybe in the beginning there'll be a small learning curve for sure. Like I said, he hasn't started that many games, I said. But I think once he gets a couple games under his belt for sure, he'll build his confidence. And, a lot of people were saying that he's got an even better arm than Joe Burrow. So that's, that's pretty good attribute, I would say. Absolutely. So I think once he gets a few games under his belt, he'll start to get confident and really start, we'll see him start thriving.
That's awesome. Here at 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio, we will keep really close eye on what he does because if he does end up being one of those shiny quarterbacks coming out of nowhere, it's going to really change the dynamic of the entire college football scene because if LSU continues to dominate, they're going to be a really heavy competitor. And people always, when you lose that major quarterback, they wonder whether or not they'll be able to continue dominating like that. So, I'm pretty excited to see it. Well, you guys have been watching us talking about Myles Brennan, quarterback for LSU, here on 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. We come to you every week with more live information with either our host Logan Landers and our other team with Vincent Turner, Mr. Football himself, Bobby Butler, number one draft pick for 1981 draft for the Atlanta Falcons, also a Florida State great, and also Kevin the Bull Jones, who is our coaching insider and football extraordinaire. So come with us every week, and if there's any comments you have, any players you want us to see us do profiles on, or anything that we missed when we're talking about Mr. Myles here, please let us know in the comments, and definitely always subscribe and share to all of the things we have going on. For 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio, I'm the producer, Jeremiah.
Hey.
And
I'm Logan
Landers. Put him on the spot there. And we'll see you a little bit later this week, guys. See you.
All right, see you guys.